Okay, good morning. And as part of our yesterday's class, we were in process of discussing SAP SD customer, master data, and transactional data. That means we were discussing about the data categories or the data types in SAP SD. And during the discussion, we understood that there were two different kind of datas, or the two different types of datas. So one is the customer master data. During the discussion, we discussed that there were two different kind of data. Those are, one is the master data and the second one is the transactional data. Okay, I repeat it. So during our yesterday's discussion, we understood that there are two different kind of data. One is the transactional data and the other one is the master data. So basically, at a very high level, there are two different kinds of data, master data and the transactional data. And also we discussed that what is transactional data? Transactional data is the data which you create on daily basis, date for the day-to-day business purpose. Transactional data is the data which you create for your daily business process. So on a daily business process, so what you do, you have to create a number of sales orders, you have to create a number of deliveries, you have to create a number of billing document, a number of purchase orders. Like there are many transactions what you have to create, what you have to consider as part of your daily business process. So those data is called as transactional data. So that's what we discussed yesterday. And also we discussed there is one more type of data, or there is one more like kind of data, that is master data. Okay, so what is master data? The master data is the prerequisite data to perform the transactional data. Okay, master data is the base for to start the transactions, or master data is like a one-time set of data. You can say it is a master. This data is a master. The master data is a master for our business process or for our transactional data. So whenever you wanted to start any transaction, whenever you wanted to create a sales order, whenever you wanted to create a delivery, whenever you wanted to create a billing, okay, what data is required? What data is required? What data is the base? Your master data is the base. Your master data is the base to start the transactions. So without your master data, you cannot proceed further. You cannot create any transaction. So that is the reason the second type of data, the second category of data is called as master data, because the data, the second type of data is a master data. It's a master for our transactions. So hence, like we call it as master data. Under the master data, there are different types of data. One is the customer master data, and the second one is the material master data, and customer material information data, and price master data, that is condition master data. And there is one more type, output master data, that we did not discuss in yesterday's class, but we will discuss that later point of time. Okay, so I just repeated, there are two different kind of data. One is the transactional data and the other one is the master data. And we also understood what are the elements in the master data and what are the elements in the transactional data in our yesterday's discussion. In the today's class, we are going to discuss about what is customer master data. That means we are going to talk about each and every master data individually. Okay, we will start with master data, in which customer master data is the first point of discussion. So let me start the system. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, Venkat, yes.
Okay. So as you know that this is our SAP logon. As I already mentioned, this is our SAP logon. So which you use to log into the system. So this is the logon pad. This is the GUI pad or the logon pad. So which is used to get into the system. To get into the system, you have to use, and then this logon pad can have many systems. Like this is ECC, and if you have like any other new dimensional systems, I told you right there are different kind of SAP systems. One is a core system, that is ECC system, ERP system. Okay, and then there is second kind of system called second type of systems called uh, new dimensional modules. New dimensional modules like CRM, SRM, GTS, GATP, like that. Some new dimensional modules are there. So that also you can add to this logon pad. And there is there are one more type of data systems. There are one more type of systems called industry specific modules. So there are total three different kind of modules in SAP. Core modules which are part of ECC. Let me write here. So SAP core modules, or you can say these modules are the modules which were introduced while SAP developed the product. Most of the modules were while developed, while introduced beginning time. So you can say SAP ERP modules. These modules are called SAP ERP modules or SAP core modules because most of the modules in this system like SAP ERP have come up with the beginning of the system, the 20 to 30 years back. And then the second category of the modules are you can say new dimensional modules. So mostly like all these modules come up to the market, or all these modules introduced by the SAP to take care of the limitations in SAP ERP modules. For example, let us say like SD. These are the core modules: SD, MM, PP, FI, and controlling, or you can say HR, PM, plant maintenance. So this is sales and distribution. That is what our primary area, that's primary module what we are going to discuss as part of this training. And MM, materials management, that is the module which takes care of purchasing process. Production planning, the module which takes care of complete manufacturing process. Finance and controlling, these two modules which takes care of the finance and controlling activities of an organization. And HR, to take care of all the human resources in an organization, their wages, their timings, their salaries, okay, their recruitment, their selection, everything will be taken care by the SAP HR module. And plant maintenance. So when you are having a plant, there are many equipments, many sites, many parts or many machines which you have to take care. Everything will be taken care by the plant maintenance. So these modules are called the core modules are SAP ERP modules, the base modules. These are the base modules, and these modules were introduced by SAP when SAP was coming to the market like 30 years back. But what happened after some time? SAP realized that SD module is having some limitations. SD module is having some limitations to take care of export activities, to take care of availability check process. I will tell you what is availability check later. So wherever there is an issue, wherever there is a limitation for SD module to support the business process, then immediately what SAP did, SAP introduced a new module called a new dimension module called GTS. So it is for since since sales and distribution module is not able to support, since sales and distribution module is not able to support international trade, in the sense, since it is not, SD module is not able to support export and import process effectively, what they did, they introduced GTS module, okay, global trade services module. This is a new dimension module. In the similar way, SAP found that SD module is not able to take care of like pre-sales and post-sales activities. There are some pre-sales and post-sales activities, especially with respect to the banking industry, retail industry, some service oriented industries. There are some pre-sales and post-sales which is not effectively supported by the SD. That's why SAP introduced CRM. Okay. In the similar way, SAP SD module is not able to support the availability check. That means in SAP SD, whenever we create a transaction, the system can only check, the system in SAP SD, the system can only check whether the product is available or not by looking at only one plant. Like when the system checking the availability of the product, when the system making sure the availability of the product in SAP SD, it can only check one plant, even though you have multiple plants, and the multiple plants have many stocks, the same product, even though the same product is available in multiple plants, but SD module cannot check the product availability in multiple plants. The SD module can only check the product availability at one plant at one order, like one time. But some clients, some companies, they wanted to have the flexibility of checking the same product availability at multiple plants. For example, they have one plant in Georgia, one plant in Chicago, one plant in you can say like California. But in SD, system can only check like stock Atlanta, and then it can give the feedback whether it is available or not. It cannot go to the California, it cannot go to the like Chicago plant. So that is the reason. SAP introduced a new module called APO GATP. Actually, it's the simple naming convention is the GATP, and global availability promise. Global means like checking at all plant level, the all supply chain level. So like this, whatever the limitation is there in SD module, SAP has come up with a new dimensional module called, these are all the new dimensional modules. The second category of the modules are the new dimensional modules like GTS, CRM, GATP. Even from the MM side, like SAP found that SAP MM is not able to support the supplier relationship activities effectively, like the pre-supplier and post-supplier, pre-purchasing and post-purchasing activities effectively. For that reason, what they did, they introduced one more module called SRM. So like this, wherever these core modules are not able to handle, wherever these core modules are not able to support the business process effectively, to take care of that limitation, SAP has come up with the second type of modules called new dimensional modules, that is GTS, CRM, GATP and SRM. And the third one, so after some time, SAP moved one step forward. After some time, SAP moved one step forward, and they started designing a third category of the module called industry specific modules. So basically, these modules are developed to take care of specific industry. For example, if the client is doing oil business, like Shell, British Petroleum, or Bharat Petroleum, or Hindustan Petroleum, so Exxon, so whatever it is, if the client is doing industry, like if the client is doing oil related business, if the client belongs to the oil industry, they introduced a new module called IS Oil module, IS Oil industry specific module. If the client is doing retail industry, if the client is doing retail business, for example Walmart, or you can say like Publix, or you can say there are different retail organizations, or in India like you can say More, or you can say Reliance Mart, or Reliance Fresh, or Heritage Fresh. If they are doing retail business, okay, so they introduced one more industry specific module called IS retail. Okay, if the client is doing if the client business belongs to banking industry, they introduced one more industry specific module called IS banking. So like this, like they introduced IS media for the media, like for all the news channels or all the news medias or whatever it is. If the client is doing media business, SAP introduced a industry specific module called IS media. So like this, the third category of the modules are called industry specific modules. So this is the way, like how SAP modules are categorized. Core modules are ERP modules. These are the base modules. Okay, and then the new dimension modules. These are the advanced modules. Advanced modules, which is specially designed to take care of the limitations of like ERP modules or the core modules. And the third one, it is not for the limitation. It is exclusively like these industry specific modules will fulfill the complete needs of industry, a specific industry. So if you, for example, when industry specific modules are not available in the market, what happens? People used to do the SD, for example, sales. So even it is retail industry, even it is oil industry, whatever industry it is, still people can use SD. Still people can use like the other modules. But after SAP introduces the industry specific modules, what happens? Oil industries like started using IS oil, but with the SD integration. They keep the SD as the base, and still they start using the oil industry. And retail industry, like retail industry people started using the retail module. Banking industry people started using the banking module, IS banking, and media people started using the IS media. So this is three different kind of modules SAP given to the market. And coming back in our logon pad, you can have like your ERP modules. ERP modules in the sense, for ERP modules there is only one log, one system, one setup. Okay, this is one, that ECC. So ECC or ERP means it has everything. It has SD, MMPP and everything. But the industry specific modules, it is specially for that particular area. If you get into the GTS, you will only see the GTS related thing. Okay, if you set up the IS retail, you will only see IS retail things. Okay, but whereas if you use ERP or ECC, it has everything. You can see now. So each and every user is having its own their own user ID. Okay. So for example, if you go here, you can see. So in ERP, these are all the modules we have: materials management, sales and distribution, logistics execution, that is shipping related activities, production, plant maintenance, quality management. Okay, and there is something called global project systems. Okay, these are all the logistics related modules. So if you can go to the accounting, you can see financial accounting, controlling, okay, and costing related modules. And if you can go to human resource, so you can see here all HR related modules like time management, personal management, payroll, okay, training and event management, okay, like travel management, all HR related activities. So like this, the SAP SD module, sorry, SAP ERP system or SAP ERP area has everything in the sense, the list of all core modules. Okay. Now we are in process of discussing the customer master data. Okay. We know that there are two different kind of master data: transactional master data and master data, transactional data and master data, transactional data and master data. And transactional data we understood, and master data we are in process of discussing, in which we are going to start customer master. So let us get into the customer master. So to get into the customer master, as I already mentioned, how can we reach? What are the different ways to reach the customer master data or to create the customer master?
With the T code or menu path?
Yes, either you can use the T code or you can use the menu path to create the customer. So to create the customer, what you can do, you can go to the menu path, or you can go to the like specific transaction code. Okay, here point is, so there is something called favorites. I will tell you little later. It's not urgent. Okay, so let me close everything. Now I wanted to create a customer master. Now I wanted to set up the customer master record, or now I wanted to maintain the customer master. So if I want to maintain the customer master, what I have? Okay, I have two different ways. In SAP, to do anything, either you can use directly the transaction code, like 4-digit transaction code, or you can use the specific menu path, transaction code or the menu path. So let me show you the menu path first. So to reach out the menu path for creating the customer master, so the basically customer is related to the logistics. You can go to the logistics, okay, and sales and distribution, and then master, that is master data, right? It's master data. Okay, you remember yesterday, like we have customer master, like customer is a business partner. Basically customer is a business partner. That's why we have, like, under the business partner, product is a material master, and condition is a price master, and customer material information. You remember it yesterday, we talked about this 4, right? Let me show you. Okay, so under the master data, we have condition master data, we have customer master data, we have material master data, we have customer material information master data. That means customer material information record. Okay, you can see those master data elements. Under master data, we have customer master, we have product material master, that is material master, we have condition, that is the price master. That means condition master data in the sense price master. And then output, we did not discuss, but we will discuss later. And then customer material information data. Okay, now let us get into the customer master. So if you can reach out to this place, okay, customer master, and then create. So this is the way how you can reach out customer creation screen, or customer setup screen, or customer maintenance screen. So this process is called reaching out to the customer master setup using the menu path. So what happens when you use this? It is taking some time. Like you have to go to the logistic, you have to go to the sales and distribution, you have to go to the business master data, business partner, customer, and create. But what happens? SAP provided an option. SAP provided an option called transaction code. Like instead of spending using like all these things, what happened, SAP provided 4-digit transaction code, which you can directly use here. Okay, so what you can do, you can directly use the T code, that is transaction code VD01. VD01. Okay, so whenever you are creating a customer master, okay, basically the system first ask you, the system will ask you select or specify the account group and specify the customer number. Okay, so when you try to create, or when you try to set up the customer master record or the customer master in the system will ask you, for example, if I hit enter, the system will ask you select the account group. Okay, select the account group. So we need to know what is this account group. Okay, we need to know what is this account group. Just give me. Okay, so let me explain. So in order to make you understand, 1 minute. Okay, so let me go to the one more stage. It's very, very important. Account group concept is very, very important. So I am going to the display of customer master. So to make you understand, I am just displaying the existing customer. So this is our customer master record. This is our customer master record, which is already created. It was already created by someone else in the system. Okay. If you look at this customer master record, okay, it has a different data, right? So the customer master is having some general data. Okay. General data means like some address data, marketing data, export data, contact person data. It has some general data like what is the customer name, what is the customer street, what is postal code, what is PO box, like this. And also it has some other controlling data. Who is the the customer vendor, or who is the trading partner, what is the tax number. So some general data it has. The customer master data, customer master record, the customer master record is having the general data, and also what it has some sales area data. Okay, that means sales area data means the data which is applicable, the data which will help for the sales process. So the data which is related or which is helpful for the sales process. Like sales process means what sales group this customer belongs to, what sales group this customer belongs to, okay, what currency this customer being used, okay, or you can say, especially if you can go to what is the delivery priority for this customer, whether we need to deliver the product immediately or no high priority, or it's okay based on the system delivery, and you want to change it to the your own delivery date, like this. The delivery, what is the delivery priority, or what is the delivery plant, from which plant you need to deliver, okay, whether you wanted to combine multiple orders, whether you wanted to combine multiple sales orders or quantities to into one delivery, like this, like some sales related data. Sales related means for selling process. Selling process means you need to take care of sales, shipping, billing, and other related things. So if you can see here, if you can understand, if you can see the screen, like the display customer master, the generals data, or the sales area data, what you can see that there are some fields, right? There are some fields, okay? Sales districts, sales office, sales group, customer group, which customer group this customer belongs to, retailer or distributor, or some kind of like automobile or retail. That's up to you, like whatever the group you can categorize, you can add this customer to that group. So there are some fields. If you can observe it, some fields are filled, some fields are already having some values, some fields are having some values, whereas some fields are not having the values. Okay, not just forget about this and start with the starting point. Just start with the general data, and if you can look at the general data, so what is the first thing you can see here? The customer, what it has, every customer, like even if I open any customer, it is having some number, right? The customer is assigned with some number. Am I correct? The customer is assigned with some number. So that means what you understood, whenever you are creating a customer, there is a need to assign the number to the customer, right? On the top of the name, you can use the name, but still from the system perspective, you need to assign a number. From the system perspective, you need to assign a number to your customer. Okay, when you are assigning the number, or when you need to assign the number to the customer, there are two different ways. How you can assign the number to the customer. That is, one, you can specify whatever the number you want to your customer. Okay, when you are giving the number to the customer record, whenever you are giving the number to the customer, you can do two different ways. One, you can assign the number whatever you want to your customer, or you can ask the system, you can give an option to the system, you can give the choice to the system, assign the number by the system itself. Okay, you can manually give the number while creating, like here. So if you can see here, I can give the number whatever I want, right? I can give the number whatever I want. Or what I can do, I can ask the system, I can tell the system, please assign the number yourself, please assign the number from your side. So that means the number assignment is very, very important. The number assignment to the customer record is very, very important. That means you need to tell the system whether you need to tell the system whether you want it to assign the number or whether you wanted to get it assigned by the system, whether you wanted to assign yourself or you wanted to get it done by the system itself. So that also we have to specify. So that means the number type, the number assignment type, you need to specify. You need to tell the system one thing. And also you can look at the fields of the system. Okay, some fields are filled, some fields are not filled, right? So like region is not assigned, PO box is not assigned, but country is assigned. Okay, and not only that, if I can go like see, when I select the sold to party 0001 account group, what the system is asking me, okay, enter the customer number first. It is asking me enter the customer number first. Whereas if I select something else, so this is also saying the same thing. Okay, that means all these account groups are required. So let me do a small change and let show you. So 001. Let me show you a small change to the system because I wanted to make you understand why you are doing what we are doing, how we have to do. Okay. So if I go back to customer master creation record, okay. See now, this is what we are expecting. Okay, let me go back. So if I go and create the customer and I selected the account group 0001. Okay, you see now when I click on, so what is the previous message and what is the current message? Account group sold to party using an external number range, specify the account number, okay? And then if I go back and change, where is it? If I go back and change back to the previous configuration, okay? So if I put, okay, if I go and try to create, I have to go back because the system has to update, the changes what I made. It may take a couple of seconds. Okay. Now, if I try to click on it, okay, go back. So did it give me the message now that enter the number? When I click on it, is it asking me to enter the number? No, right? If I try to create customer master record using the account group 0001, this time it is not asking me to enter the customer because system is thinking it is internal number. Why? At the account group level, I assign the internal number range. Okay. Whereas if I put Z1, and if I save it, okay, and go back to the customer master screen okay, let me close it completely. Come again, the same screen. Okay, so if I specify the same thing, if I click on enter, see system is saying that, so this account group 001 account group is using the external number assignment. External means you have to give the number. External means from the system perspective. It is external number range. So who is external to the system? We are external to the system. We are outside to the system. That's why we need to enter that external number. Whatever the number you want, you need to enter. But whereas if you specify here 01, that is internal. Okay, where can you see that is internal or external? If you go back to this place, okay, create number ranges. So you can see here, okay, 01 number range interval. I will tell you what is it. Just wait for some time. This is not external. If it is check mark, it is external. If no check mark, it is not external. It is internal means. So if you look at couple of things, you can see some number ranges are external. So this is external. That means whenever your account group is assigned with external number range interval, then it is your responsibility to specify the number to enter the number. Whereas if it is internal, you do not need to give the number. The system will automatically take care of number. System will give the next available number. System will assign the next available number to the customer master record. Okay. For example, okay. So let me, and you also need to understand one more point before I explain the account group. So let me go to the configuration one more time. So VD 01. Okay, so now if I specify the 01 and create, okay, so now I'm creating the customer master. Now I'm setting up the customer master. When I'm setting up the customer master, you see some fields are having, like for example, if I hit an enter, what it is saying that, so please enter the all field, please fill all the required fields. So what are the required fields? You see, this is a required field, this is a required field, this is a required field, this is required field means mandatory fields, mandatory fields. Okay, this is mandatory field, and this is not a mandatory, right? This is not mandatory. For example, if I put okay, Genova's business solutions are the, like, if I put it, now it will not ask me. If I hit enter, the system is asking me enter the search term. Okay, not this field, it's an optional. That means the field is there, but whether you can enter it or not doesn't matter. For the system perspective, it doesn't matter. So that is the reason. So you can enter here. Okay, the search term is a Genova's. And the street number is also not important. Street name is not important, and house number is also not important, but the city is the important. You can enter, and country, US, you can say state. So and then you can go to the next tab. These things are called tabs. Tab 1, tab 2, tab 3, tab 3. Like this one, different tabs. Like address tab. Address tab means all the address related fields, address related information available in the address tab. And then control data. You see any mandate? Do you see any mandatory fields? No mandatory fields. Or all are the optional fields. Okay. So here, even in this marketing screen also, all are optional screens. That means these fields are not mandatory for the business transaction purpose. That means even though if you don't maintain these fields, your transactional process will not stop. But whereas if you do not enter the basic details or the mandatory details, in future in the further transactional process you cannot proceed further without these values. These fields are critical for the business. So generally what happens, whatever the fields are critical for the business, we made those fields as mandatory, and all other fields we made it as an optional. And sometimes what we can do, you can make, like, the screen is you can hide the screen as well. If you don't want to see, like, the post box, you can hide the screen. Okay, now it is available, but it is not mandatory, it is optional. It is optional screen whether you can enter or not. Whereas if you can hide it, or you can make just a display screen as well. So that means while creating the customer master record, what you can understand, what you can guess, what you can think, there is something which is controlling which field is mandatory, right? There is something, it is not here what it is controlling, right? So you can think of it, there is something in the background, which is controlling which field is important and which field is not important, or which field is mandatory, which field is optional, which field can be hide, and also what number can be given to the system, whether we can give the internal number or we can give the external number, right? These things are suspicious, right? You can think of it. So do you think this screen is controlling this? So what do you think? What is controlling? Based on the explanation what I have given, since couple of minutes. So what did you understand? What is controlling here? What element is controlling which field is mandatory, which field is optional, which field can be hide, and what number you want? So based on what you can do?
Account group.
It is based on the account group. Okay, account group is the element. Account group is the element which is controlling or which is helping you. Account group is the element which is helping us to specify whether we need internal number assigned by the system, or whether the number has to be entered by us or from the external side, from our side, or which field is mandatory, which field is optional, which field can be hide, which field only for the display purpose. So those are all the things will be controlled by the account group. All those things will be controlled by the account group. So let me do one thing. Let me explain the account group first. Then we'll come back to the this customer master creation. Okay. Or let me do one thing. Okay. Let me go ahead and complete the master data. While discussing the configuration related things, we will talk about the account group. Let us try to understand. Basically, this account group controls what number range you want, whether you want internal number range or external number range. If it is internal, okay, what number? If it is external, what number series? You also have an option to specify the number series, whether you want give the number range to your customer 1000 to 10,000 or 1 to 10,000. If you want to assign the numbers between 1 to 10,000 to your customer, so you can specify in the number range. Okay, whenever I am creating the customer master record, the system can assign the number between 1 to 1000, 10,000. Or at the same time, you can say whenever the system creating the customer master, I wanted to assign the number between 10,000 to 20,000. So like this, you have an option to specify the required number range. You cannot give the exact number. If it is external number range, you can give whatever the number exactly what you want. If you want the number to your customer 1001 or 2005, if you want to exactly give the number to your customer 2005 to specific customers, then what you need to do? You need to use the external number concept. You need to use the external number approach. But whereas if you are okay to give any number between 1 to 5,000 or 1 to 10,000, then you can specify as internal number. If you specify the internal number and specify the number range between 1 to 10,000, system will assign automatically whatever the next number available in the sequence. That is internal number assignment. The system will take the responsibility to assign the number. Whereas external means you have an option to specify what number you want. Okay, so that's what how it works, the number range. So that is controlled by the account group, and also this account group also controls, okay, what field you want to make it mandatory, what fields you want to make it optional. Let us discuss, not a big thing. Okay, so now account group. Let us talk about the account group. So in order to configure the account group, you have to go to the SPRO. Okay, let me explain this. Basically, we have like different type of elements in SAP. Now you understood what is transactional data. You already understood transactional data. Okay, you all also understood master data. Okay, transactional data is daily transactional data. Master data is one-time setup, and in between, like or apart from the transactional data and the master data, there is something else called configurations. Configurations are some people also call it as customization. Configuration or the customization. Okay, so basically the configurations data or the configuration process or the customizing process is the key process, is a key element which is driving the system, which is driving your business process. So that means whatever the configurations you make in the system, whatever the customization or whatever the configuration you do in the system, that will drive your business. That means whenever you are creating a transactional data, or even in order to do like the master data creation, like customer master, material master, customer material information. So for all configuration or for driving your business, the configuration process or the customization process is the important, because this is the place where you specify how your transaction should be controlled and how your master data should be controlled. So let me show you something. Now if you can understand this, like if I go to VD01, okay, VD01. So you are trying to create a customer master. You are trying to create a customer master. So what is the first element controlling your customer master? Account group, right? Your first element controlling your customer master create is the account group. So when you say it is account group, where you are configuring this, where you are defining the account group, where you are making the account group, or where you are creating the account group, you are creating the account group in the SPRO. That is under the, you are creating the, so for example, it is simple. You wanted to create a sales order. That is your transactional data. You wanted to create a sales order. For which, what you need the master data, like you need the master data like customer master. You also need the material master, right? You also need the material master. Okay. And in order to create what you need, you need account group, right? You need account group. So now one more thing. So let me make you understand this also. So I'm trying to create sales order. I am trying to create sales order. So here, when I'm trying to create the sales order, what is the first thing system is asking me? Specify the
Order type.
Order type. System is asking you, please enter the order type. That means the system is asking you whether you are entering the, whether you are creating the export order, whether you are entering the, whether you are creating the domestic order or Canada order or US order, or you can say like sample order, free of charge order, or employee order, or whatever it is. You need to specify the order type. So that means order type means, so it is again a configuration. So whatever the order you need, all these order types has to be configured in the system. So let me write here. Okay. To create a sales order, what else is required? You need master data and also you need some configuration data. That is order type. That's called sales document type. Sales document type. So what kind of sales order you wanted to create? So that specific order type has to be configured in the background. Okay, like this. So if I specify the order type, let us say order. Okay. So after specifying the orders, what other fields I need to enter if I go back? Okay, I need to enter the, like I need to tell under what sales organization, under what distribution channel, and what division product I am creating order. I need to specify, right? These values also I have to specify. Though it is not asking you to mandatory as a mandatory field, but still later point of time you need to know at what organization level this order has been created. We need to know, right? So that means you need to configure some what data? Organizational data also. That's called organizational structure. Okay. That means this is also organizational data. This is also configuration. Okay. Even if you go inside, okay, you are entering the customer here, you are entering the ship to party here. Okay. And also you can see something called what? Payment terms. What you need to enter? Payment terms. That means how your customer can make the payment. Whether the customer can make the payment immediately. So once after creating the sales order, whether the customer has to pay, or 45 days is okay, or 30 days is okay, or 15 days is okay, like this. So you can define the payment terms. You can define the payment terms with your whatever the terms and conditions which you have your customers with respect to the payment, that we can define, that we can assign at order level in the form of payment terms. Okay, payment terms means the terms between you and your customer for the payment process, whether he has to pay immediately, whether he can pay after billing, like after 15 days, after 30 days, after 40 days, after 2 months. That's up to your business client, up to your client. So that you have to specify. So that also where it comes, it also comes from the configurations. So like this, in order to run the transaction, in order to proceed for the transaction, so what you need you need the transactional data. Okay, in order to run the transactional data or in order to run the transaction, you need the master data. You also need the configuration process or the configuration data. You can say configuration process or the customization process. You need to do this. So here, out of those configuration elements, the one thing what we are going to discuss now is the account group. Okay, you understood now what we are going to discuss? Basically, these configurations will drive the transaction, or you can say drive the business. So whatever the way you want the transaction to be run, that is controlled in the your configuration process. Okay, it will take some time to exactly understand what it is, but let us try to configure the account group. So if I go to the configuration process, so now we are talking about the account group configuration. Why? Because account group controls the number range, that is whether it is internal number or external number, and also what number it is, but what number series, that also we can specify. And also the account group controls which field is mandatory, which field is optional, which field can be hide, which field is a display field, like that. Okay, so now to configure the account group, what you need to do, you have to go to the SPRO. Okay, this is, you can see the customizing. So SPRO is the transaction code which will take you to the customizing process. SPRO is the transaction code which will take you to the customizing process or the configuration process. And then you have to click on the SAP reference IMG. So if you click on IMG, okay, now you have to reach out to the account group. So basically what happens, even though you are SAP SD consultant, you are going to become the SAP SD consultant couple of months, let us say. Okay, so even though you are going to become the SAP SD consultant, okay, SAP SD consultant means it is exclusively for SD module. Okay, SD sales and distribution related module. Actually, the customer and material, okay, are being used not only in SD. Though you are SAP SD consultant, okay, and the customer is more important to you than anyone. So the customer is more important for the salespeople. But still, the same customer data is also being used by the finance department. Why? Finance module. Why? Because as part of your sales process, what you do, you create the sales order. You create the sales order first, and then you create the delivery, outbound delivery, and then you issue the goods to the customer, and then you do the billing. So you create basically, if you include everything, the process starts with inquiry. Very beginning, the customer started doing inquiry. The customer inquiry about the product. So what is this product? Okay, where it is available, how I can get it, at what time I can get it. So like this, the customer inquire the product. That is inquiry. The sales process, the sales and distribution process starts with creating the inquiry, and then based on the customer inquiry, you give the quotation to the customer. So that means you give the quotation to the customer. So this product you want, right? This much quantity, and this product price is this. This product price is $100, and this product is available in 1 month. Like this, company will give the quotation to the customer. First, you will receive the inquiry from the customer, and then the company will give the quotation to the customer, like with price and product availability and other details. Once the customer is okay with the quotation, once the customer is okay with the price, once the customer is okay with the delivery dates, like shipping dates, and then the customer is placing the order, then what you do, you create a sales order. Inquiry, quotation, and then sales order. So once you create the sales order, then all the production starts in the background, production and everything starts in the background. Once the product is available, you deliver the goods. Inquiry, quotation, sales order, delivery. That is outbound delivery. The goods are going out, outbound delivery. Once you do the delivery, then you create the billing document. Okay, you create the billing document. You know what happens? Whenever you create a billing document, in business, the sales people are not responsible to get the money. You are not responsible to get the money. The only finance department is responsible to get the money. We are only responsible, the sales department is only responsible to get the order from the customer, create the order, deliver the goods, and create the billing document, give it to the customer. And whenever, that means what? Whenever you create a billing document, as per the business process, which department has to be notified? Whenever you create a billing document, which department has to be notified whenever you create a billing? Because who will receive the payment? Who has to collect the payment? Finance people, right? Finance department. That means the billing, the SD process, sales and distribution process, ends with creating the billing document. And once you create the billing, the system automatically transfer the billing information to the finance department. That means the system will notify the finance team. So this is the billing created by the sales people. Please collect the amount. Please start the collecting process from the customer. That means what is happening? There is an integration. This is very, very important. In every interview, in each and every interview, people will ask you. So what is the integration between SD and FI? You can say that the SD and FI integration starts when you create a billing document. That means when you create a billing document and release the billing document, that means whenever you think that billing document is good, it has each and every correct value. When you click release button, then the integration starts. That means integration means sending the details or sending the communication of your billing to the finance department. That means there is integration between SD and finance. So then the finance department will take care. The finance department will start collecting the money. So that is integration between SD. The billing document release is the starting point for the integration between SD and FI model. So that means what? The same customer, whatever the customer you are using in the sales order, the same customer is also being used by the finance people to collect the money. Am I correct or not? So if the FI people wants to receive the payment, from the customer, they also need to have the customer data, right? Am I correct or not? They also need to have the customer data or not? Only SD people, only sales people. What do you think? Yes, right? The finance module also need the customer data. So that is the reason, okay? That is the reason the customer account group is available under the reason for giving this much explanation why we are getting into the financial accounting. Basically, we are sales and distribution people, right? We are SD people. We are SD consultants. Why we are getting into the finance? You may have question because you think that since you are SD consultant, you can think of it. I have to go to the sales and distribution configuration. Why I am getting into the finance? You may get that question. The reason is the same customer data is being used by the finance people also. Even in fact, the customer master setup done by the finance people at one point, at one level. I will tell you what is it. Okay. So that is the reason we are going to the finance. Go to the financial accounting. New. Under the financial accounting. So is SD module related to the account receivables or account payables? Okay, it is like this. When you create a sales order, delivery billing, do you receive whether the finance department need to receive the payment or need to make the payment? When from the sales SD module perspective, do you need to the finance team need to receive the payment or finance team need to make the payment?
Receive the payment.
Receive the payment, because you create a sales order. That means you sell the goods. You sold the goods to the customer. When you sold the goods to the customer,
Receivables.
you have to collect the money. That means SD, with respect to the SD module, finance team is having the responsibility of account receivables. Account receivables. Okay. Just for knowledge purpose, when you go to the purchase order means what? You wanted to purchase, your company wanted to, it's not related as SD module is not responsible for purchasing, but just for the knowledge purpose. Okay.
Yeah, procuring.
When you procure the material, when you buy the material for your production, for your assembling process, what we need to do, like what the people need to do, they need to make the payment, right? Okay, they need to make the payment. So that is called account payable. Account receivables means receiving the payment from the customer. Account payable means the finance team is responsible to make the payment to all vendors, all suppliers. Whoever supply the goods to you, whoever supply the raw materials to you, for them, finance team need to make the payment. Whereas from the SD perspective, they need to receive the money, they need to collect the money. Okay, that's why we need to go to the account receivables and account payables. Okay, and then so now we are responsible for the customer. Go to the customer accounts. Under the customer, it is master data. So preparation of creating the customer master data. So this is the one what we are trying to understand. Define account group with a screen layout for the customer. Okay. Now there are plenty of account groups. Okay. Account group sold to party, account group ship to party, account group bill to party. We have multiple account groups. Let us go to the first one. If we can go here, so you can give for each account group, it is actually a 4-digit code, and you can give the like what is this account group, whether this account group is for the sold to party, ship to party, bill to party, payer. So now try to understand what is sold to party, what is ship to party, who is ship to party, who is bill to party, who is payer. Okay. So basically, sold to party is the person. Sold to party is the person who places the order to your company. So whoever contacts you initially and place the order to your company, we call them as a sold to party. So whoever the candidate contact you and place an order with your company, we call them as a sold to party. And then who is the ship to party? That means sometimes, for example, when you are placing the order in the Amazon, just to make you understand the difference, when you are placing an order, what you can say, you as a sold to party, you can place the order, but you don't want to ship to your address. You can say ship it to somebody else. Ship it to somebody else, or one of your friend, or one of other company, or wherever it is. That means ship to party is the person who receives the goods. Because mostly, for your information, most of the times, 99% of the times, sold to party, ship to party, bill to party, payer, same. 90 to 99% of the cases, sold to party, ship to party, bill to party, payer are the same. But in few cases, sold to party may be one person, and the ship to party, the person who is receiving the goods, is maybe different person. Like the ship to party means to whom we need to ship from the company perspective. From the company perspective, to whom we need to ship. That means we are receiving order from one person. We are receiving the order from the customer X, but we are delivering the goods to Y. He is the ship to party. The person to whom we are doing the shipping, to whom we are doing the delivery, that is called ship to party. And then the third one is bill to party. So to whom we need to send the bill? To whom we need to send the bill? That is the person who receives the bill is a bill to party. Payer, the person who make the payment, is a payer. It's very simple. Okay. Sold to party, ship to party, bill to party, payer. Mostly all are same, but sometimes ship to party may be different, or bill to party may be different, or payer may be different. We will see. That not a later point we will see. Okay. And now, like we need to specify, like because this is not we don't know right exactly what it is. That's why you need to specify the like whether it is a sold to party or ship to party or bill to party, whatever it is. And then you can see three kinds of data. I told you right. When you create a sale like a customer master record, you see some general data, you see some sales data, you also see some company code data. So basically, the FI team, when you okay, let me explain you that also. If I go to okay, try to observe it. You have to observe it very carefully. The screen. I am using the transaction code. I am using the transaction code XD01. Okay, see what it is for XD01. What is happening? What is this transaction code meant for? Create. Raghu, what it is saying that XD01 create what? Customer create, right? Customer create. Okay. Now that is XD01. And now I am going to do one more transaction. VD01. What it is showing? Is it the same or different at this screen level? Same, right? Even if I use the XD01 or VD01, the system showing me create custom, the system taking me to create customer or customer create screen. Okay, if I hit enter, okay, here what data I can see when I use the VD01, when I use the VD01, okay, do I see any company code data?
No.
Do I see any company code data here? I use the VD01. Okay, this is VD01. Okay. So when I use the VD01, do you see any company code data here? No.
No.
If I go to XD01, if I go to XD01 and hit enter, okay, we need to enter the organizational details, then we can see the difference. Wait.
Basically, you can only create sales with VD01.
Okay. So that means basically, I will show you, but let me tell you. If you want to enter only sales related data for your customer, if you wanted to create the customer, if you wanted to create customer only for the sales purpose, sales and distribution purpose, then we use VD01. I told you, right, we always represent the sales, VD01. If you want to create the customer at all level, like the company code level, basically what is the highest organizational element? For some of the people who did not attend that organizational data class, I'm going to send you the record after the session. So basically, the highest organizational element in SAP is the company code. Okay, that is the highest organizational element, very top. And then we have different organizational elements. From the sales perspective, sales organization is the highest level. From the purchasing side, purchase organization is the highest level. From the production planning, plant is the highest level. Okay, so like this, the company code is the top, and then we have different organizational units. So that's why when you use the transaction code XD01, that tells you that means you are creating the customer at the company code level. Whereas when you create the customer using the VD01, then you wanted to enter only you wanted to enter only like that sales related, sales and distribution data or the sales organizational data. Okay, so that is the difference. Okay, 1 minute. Okay, now you can understand. Let me show you something. Okay, so when I enter the VD01, do you see the company code here? When I hit enter the company code like VD01, create the customer
No,
at sales or distribution level, do you see the company code? No, right?
no.
No. Whereas if I enter XD01, what is the difference?
The company code.
Company code. That means company code is at global level. Creating the customer at global level or a company code level. You need to enter the company code, you need to enter the sales organization, distribution channel, and a division as well. Okay? Whereas when you use the VD01, you just need to specify only, the sales related data. You don't need to maintain that means when you use the VD01, you are not authorized to maintain the company code data. You are not responsible, you are not authorized to maintain the company code. But whereas when you use XD01, you are responsible for the company code, or if they want to maintain, they can maintain the sales related also. That means XD01 is the higher value T code. You can see it is having huge authorization. It is higher level T code than the VD01 because the XD01 transaction is being used to create the customer at all levels, company code level, sales level, at every level. But whereas in VD01, you are trying to create the customer only at the sales and distribution, SD module specific. SD, that's our specific. Okay. And if I go back, that is the reason SAP, like while doing the configuration for the account group, it has everything. Okay, from the finance side, we are doing the account group configuration, right? We have general data, we have company code data, we have sales data. Okay, so if I go to the general data, okay, you see we have address tab, we have communication tab, we have control tab, we have marketing tab, different tabs. When I click on the address tab, okay, it is taking me to the different screen. Okay, so this is a account group configuration screen. Then you need to go to general data. Okay, under the general data we have different tabs: address tab, control tab. If you click on the address tab, so here this is the place where you can control the fields. For example, name. What do you want to do? You want to suppress this field. That means you don't want to see. You want to hide the screen, or you wanted to make it a required field, or you want to make it a just display field. You want to make it as a optional field. So whatever the way you want to look, you want to see in our customer master creation screen, that way you can specify. So you see here, name is mandatory, search term is mandatory, postal code is mandatory, okay, and address form is optional, okay, and then the first name is optional, so the second name is optional, third name is optional. So like this, whatever the way, like first box city, it's suppressed. You will not see that field there, okay. And if you want to just make it display, you can. It's just display mode, and you cannot even enter. You can still see the screen. You can still see the field, but you cannot enter any value because you are going to make it as a display field. So like this, you can control all our fields in the customer master using what? Using the account group configuration. Using the configuration of the account group, you can control your customer master creation, which field is mandatory, which field is optional, which field is displayed, which field can be hide, that is suppressed. Okay, not only general data, even for the company code data also. There are different tabs under the company code data. There are different tabs. Account management. Okay, so you need to specify whether the reconciliation account, because it is one of the key account which tells the system like how to post the your values, how to post your revenues. Okay, you need to specify the reconciliation account, or you can specify authorization, you can specify the release group or personal number, whatever the field it is important. Generally company code data we are not responsible. Company code data we are not responsible. What data we are responsible? All the time as a SAP SD consultant, we are responsible to take care of sales data. We are responsible to take care of the sales data. Okay. Under the sales data, we have 4 tabs: sales tab, shipping tab, billing tab, and partner usage tab. So if you can go to the sales tab, okay, you can specify whether the sales group is mandatory or not. Okay, whether the customer group is mandatory or not. Our pricing procedure is what pricing process we need to use. That it will take some time enough to understand. Okay, and then what is the sales office? Whether the sales office is mandatory or not. So like this, whatever the field you want to make it mandatory, whatever the field you want to make it optional or display or suppress, you can control here. So according to this control, according to the control which you made in the account group, based on that you will see the system response while creating the customer master. So when you get into the customer master screen, whatever the configurations you made here, according to this, the system will react. So if you make a sales group is required field, then the system will ask you while creating the customer master, record, system will ask you enter the sales group. Unless and until you enter the sales group details, it will not allow you to move further. Okay, that is called required field. Required field means mandatory. You have to fill by any cost, by any means, you have to fill that field. If it is optional, it is just an option to you. You can enter or you can leave it. If it is just display means even you cannot enter to, there is nothing to enter. It's all grayed out. That means it disabled. The field is disabled. You can see, you can display it. Suppress means the field itself is missing from the screen. So that is how it controls. Okay. So what we can do from the sales perspective, you can tell which field is mandatory for the sales tab, which field is mandatory for the shipping, which field is mandatory for the billing. For example, if you go to the billing, you can see like terms of payments. What are the terms of payments between our customer and you, and what are the Incoterms? Okay, Incoterms means shipping related thing. We'll discuss later. And you can say what are the tax details, whether the tax is applicable for this customer or tax exemption. Some customers are tax exempted, some customers are tax applicable. So that like this, your account group controls which field is mandatory, which field is optional. Okay, this is the place where you can specify the field control. Okay, this section you can specify the field control, and then after that what you can do, you have something called create the number ranges. So basically creating the number ranges in the sense, okay, what is the time? Okay, is it okay to continue some more time?
Okay, I need to step out.
Yeah, I'm also stepping out.
Okay.
Thank you.
So no problem. Let us meet next week, next Saturday, same time. Okay. We will continue to discuss about number ranges, and then assigning the number ranges to the account group, and we'll go back to the creation of the customer master. Okay. We'll go back to the creation of the customer. We'll try to complete, because what we are trying to do while discussing the customer master creation, we are not just discussing that. We are trying to understand all the background controls. Okay, that will give the clear picture what we are doing, how we are doing, why you are doing. Okay, see you next week. Thank you.
It will be very helpful if you send the videos and also access, Venkat.
We access, you will get it by today, but it looks
Okay.
like it is recording is not yet converted. I'm putting the conversion now. Okay. Whenever it is, once the conversion is completed, I will share the recording. Okay. Just give me 3 hours. And,
Even
access.
tomorrow, day after also will be possible.
Thank you.